Welcome back to the channel here at Car Chat TV.
Well, today we want to do a little bit of a chat about you guys thinking about maybe buying a used electric vehicle. So we're going to have a little bit of a chat about used EVs because it's so expensive to buy new. And then there's a little bit of a challenge later on. We've got a couple of beers because
we've got beers on the go.
In the Car Chat TV HQ. But it's a bit different because normally when we're reviewing cars, we don't get to drink.
Just to let you guys know, we release an episode every single Friday. Next week, it's our 2 years ownership review of Adam's Range Rover Velar. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss an episode.
So we want to talk about everything used EVs because what we've found is prices have been dropping, haven't they?
So with electric vehicles, they depreciate so much quicker than a normal petrol diesel car.
Literally, sometimes even within 2 years, they've lost half the value.
Yeah.
So it's actually really good for the used EV market. And now I think 2025 is going to be a big year for used EVs.
Okay, so what's quite interesting is the market share. So in Q3 2024, battery electric vehicles, so full EVs, captured a 2.7% market share, which was up 1.8% from the previous year. So that shows us that even though it's a slow growth, more and more people are buying used EVs.
Yeah, a little bit more growth there, so that's always good to see with EVs, because I feel like 2023, that everyone was like, oh, it's over, EVs are over, no one's going to adopt this.
EVs aren't the future.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like now there's a little bit of hope, a little bit of optimism coming back. My fact was used EV sales increased by 57%, reaching 53,000 units, which was quite interesting, and that was for Q3 of 2024. So that was quite recent, and I feel like it's only growing even stronger. So that backs up our point that we did before.
Yep.
So I'll send you the screenshot on screen so you can check it out.
So used EVs, would you buy a used EV?
I think I would buy a used EV, which I never thought I'd say. And actually, in the past year, we've been reviewing a lot more EVs, haven't we? And we've seen all the tech, what they're capable of. And actually, when you come to terms with the range and what you are realistically driving day to day and how it could fit into your life, then you think, actually, this could make sense. I mean, me personally, I don't normally do more than 200 miles in a day.
No.
And most EVs nowadays can cope with that perfectly. You can charge it at home, you get easy miles that's cheaper than petrol, cheaper to run, cheaper maintenance costs. So it does sort of start making sense once you get past that range anxiety that you're not going to see, 600 miles on your dash that you're ready to go. When you fill up with your diesel, you're like, oh, well, as soon as an EV can do 600 miles, then I'll think about it.
Yeah.
But now you've changed the tune.
But when you buy a brand new car and you have a wall box, because the government grant for a wall box is gone, they used to give you money towards it. It costs from £800 to £1,500 just for a wall box.
It's not cheap.
Exactly.
And I think if they did want to really push EVs, they should bring back this grant for the wall box, because it makes sense.
And if you're paying for a car, because the luxury tax is 40k, if you're paying for a luxury tax vehicle 40k and you've got to pay that extra tax, you should be getting a wall box, because it's just money. So it's all like, oh, we're saving.
I know. And they're like double taxing it in a way. Because you're like, got to buy this and then tax that and luxury tax, and I feel like it's all too much.
Yeah.
And especially, I feel like if you're maybe, I don't know, a little bit older, not quite up to date with technology, and you think, oh yeah, EVs make sense, but then you're hit with apps, you're hit with signing ins, you're hit with logins, you're hit with all these blocks in technology that you have to overcome, and most people just can't be bothered. I know there's even a lot more sort of EV journalists that are coming up on YouTube, and there's more and more, and I feel like the hype of EV is just going to get more and more, but I feel like this year is the perfect time because prices have come down to a reasonable level, which they've needed to do to make people accept them, to make people want to buy them.
And there's so many EVs that have been made now, and even more are coming out, that there's all these used ones just kind of sitting there. Like Model 3s, I've looked, just a quick look, you can pick them up from 10 to 12 grand.
And I think a lot of people like to moan, and they're like, oh, well, in the winter I'm going to get half the range, and I'm not going to get my full range if the weather's a bit colder. When actually, it's a bit like...
Grow up.
Grow up. That's what needs to happen, because it's a bit like if you put your foot down on any petrol or diesel car, your miles just disappear. And it's a similar thing with EVs. If you use more electricity, if you like to keep warm in the car, it's going to use more electricity, so your miles are going to go down. But you're going to have to just adapt and overcome. let's get on to our challenge.
Challenge, 10 minutes, no, 5 minutes, we'll have each. I'll find 3 used EVs, you find 3, and then you tell us which one's the best. The rules were...
4 years, 48 months, £2,000 deposit, and 10,000 miles.
But, So we'll add 1 cash and 2 PCP. So let's get stuck in.
Okay, go on, hit me with yours.
I'm going to start you off with my cash purchase first.
Oh, okay.
Let's do that first. We want yours. And I'm telling you now, this is one that I would get because it stuck out to me. Cherry red Tesla Model 3 standard range, rear wheel drive. Okay. Now it's £329 per month on HP, but for £13,000, £475.
That's not bad.
You're going to get this Tesla. It looks in great nick. Not only that, one owner. So you know, one owner that's.
So is that a private seller?
Used the battery. Yeah. Well, I think it's a private seller, but there is finance available. Now, let's just talk about the charging. So at home, 7.4 kilowatt. We'll do 7 hours and 10 minutes. Now, because we know it's a Tesla as well, so you've got the Tesla infrastructure, a full charge on an ultra rapid 350 kilowatts, I'm doing 29 minutes to get it back up to 80%, so that's good. And I'm getting all that.
That's a cheap option.
Right, okay, now it says the range is 254 miles. It's not going to be that because obviously he's used it. It's a 2019, so it's not too old, but it is old.
Like generally, off even new EVs, you can probably take 100 miles just straight off.
Yeah.
Like the combined rate that they give.
Now, 80,000 miles is all it's done.
That's good. That's a good deal. I'll give you that. It's a lot of car for the money. I feel like it's a good step into EVs.
You've got to remember, it's electric motors. It's not like you've got to worry about cam belt, oil changes.
Yeah. £13,475. That's a steal. So this is I'll do my cash one then, because I feel like we've been, around the same sort of territory here. Because my cash one is a Tesla Model S. So
it's a bit big. I don't like those.
It's a bit bigger. I like the Model S. I think they're a little bit bigger. I quite like the style of them. This one is £11,989.
So 12k. You say say 12k.
12k. I feel like it's a decent price for it.
What year is it?
It's 2015.
Oh, so mine was 2019. So
I know. I'm going to say that Ollie's got the better deal on this. So I think you've won this because this one's done over 100,000 miles.
Yeah.
But I feel like even with EVs, once you go past 100,000 miles, it doesn't really matter. I don't think that the degradation of the battery is too much to worry about. If you haven't seen that Auto Trader episode when they reviewed that 250,000 mile Tesla Model S, it had only degraded about 15% or something.
Yeah, they say like 2 to 3% per year on some really good batteries.
I am going to argue the Model S is the better looking car.
To be honest, they're all blobs. Apart from the Highland update and then the Juniper for that with the new taillights that we did.
The brand new Teslas look a bit better.
Yeah, and we have done, obviously, the update when we went to Munich. We saw the Mod 3 update. Yeah. But they do look better. But however, that's more money.
Yeah, you're going to have to let us know which Tesla wins the cash option. Let's move on to your PCPs.
Okay. Now, this is on the high end of a PCP.
Okay.
Again, I saw this and I thought, this is a cool electric car.
Go on then.
Jaguar I-Pace.
Okay, interesting.
£330 per month.
Decent, yeah.
Now, it's a stunning car, 2019 again, so not too old.
Quite new. Let's do a quick maths lesson here.
Right.
Because what was it? 350.
330.
330. Okay, so basically, if you wanted to PCP this car over 4 years, over those 4 years, you're paying £15,840. So you're nearly paying the list price of the car.
46,000 miles. That's nothing.
That's decent.
That's nothing. Now, 278 miles of range.
Yeah.
Now, you won't get that, but you'll get pretty close to that because it's only been used for 46,000 miles and it's 330. Charging-wise, 12 hours doing a 7.4 kilowatt wall box at home. Fast charge, 100 kilowatts, 50 minutes.
I think just to know, I-Paces in general, they've dropped so much. We have actually driven one.
Yeah.
They are a decent car and they do drive really well. They're fast, they're comfortable. They're just a little bit too small. I feel like it's a good option. Okay, so my number 2 is... So this one is a Ford Mustang Mach-E.
Oh, God. How much is this?
So On the monthly, it was £298 per month on the PCP.
That's not bad, you know, because that's actually similar than mine was 20k, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it's a 2021 plate. Mustang
Snap.
Mach-E.
By £9. Yours is £9 more on the unit price.
Yep, so just under 20k, and I think for £298, you're getting a lot of carb here. We've driven the Mustang.
They're nice inside.
Really nice inside, really nice to drive, very fast. The range is good as well. I did actually screenshot the range.
Good man.
It states 379 miles. Realistically, you're probably not going to get that, but it has got a good battery at 98 kilowatts. So I feel like it's quite decent. Extended range.
Extended range. So that is actually that's a really good one for those that want a little bit more range for their buck, because the extended range, that's why you're getting 379 miles.
I know. So I think my option is cheaper on a monthly, you get more miles, and it's a slightly bigger car. So I think I'm going to have to win that one.
It's a Ford Mach-E.
It's a Ford, but it is affordable, and I think it's a good family all-round EV.
You'll have to
can't
say,
beat it.
we'll put it to a vote there, because I do like that one, not going to lie. It's got more range. I don't know what the charging times is, because it doesn't look like you got those. But
Irrelevant.
oh yeah, because we don't care about charging cars. That's what the times are.
I think I've won that one. My points are more range. I'm going to argue a better looking car. I'm going to argue it's bigger.
Yeah.
And it just drives better.
But then inside the Jaguar I-Pace is nice. I think I'm going to let you have it.
So moving on to your final choice. Go on then, hit me.
Okay, this is a good one. This is a MG ZS, cherry red, lovely SUV. It's the long range trophy, top trim level.
Okay.
It's £15,199. Works out
That's cheap.
£243 a month. So the PCP is really good. It's under 250. So for me,
That is
family car.
Yeah.
And guess what? It's only a 2022. So it's only
Still quite new. So
it's
it's going to
very
be quite
new.
safe.
The battery's not going to be degraded as much as
Yeah.
others, and 35,930 miles.
Okay, the mileage is good.
So it's done nothing on terms of miles. 273 miles of range. You probably aren't going to get that.
not
I'd be happy to
realistic.
get 200 miles, maybe.
Still not realistic.
If you think about it, it's only really had 2 years, because we're only just in 2025. It's only had 2 years of battery degradation.
Yeah, well, I just think even at the state range at 273, especially MGs, they're not going to get that.
Yeah, so anyway, it's top trim level, trophy long range. Charging wise, 10 hours at home on a 7.4 kilowatt wall box from full, and then it can do 100 kilowatt, so ultra rapid charge, 48 minutes, 80%. I think great family all rounder. If you don't care about the badge too much, that'll be not. We had the MG HS, which this isn't,
Yeah.
but the interior we were impressed with. If you want an A to B and you don't want to pay too much, you want to save, go an electric, I think that is pretty decent.
I can see why you've gone for it. I can understand your points, but ultimately, there's a reason why it's not a popular car. And that's because it's so ugly. So my last one, okay, are you ready? It is the Mercedes-Benz EQC.
Yeah, it's a good car.
Okay, it's a good car, and this one is actually £18,495 as a cash price, or you can PCP it for $334. And I think you get a lot of car for that price.
Yeah, that's a cool car, the EQC, to be fair. It's a good looking car.
I think it's a great family car. It's got loads of tech in there. I feel like it's big enough for families. You can get people in the back. And I feel like
2020, it says it's 2020, that's not too old.
yeah, 2020. It's
How many miles?
80 kilowatt, done 85,000 miles, which is a bit above average for a 2020 plate. But the range is saying 245 miles. Realistically, I don't think you're going to get that. But hopefully you can get around 200 miles. And I feel like with an EQC, you're not really going to be doing over 200 miles a day. So I feel like it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
It's a great car.
I think it's really hard to compare these because, well, how many miles did you say yours has gone?
85.
And this has done 35,000, and it's 243.
Yes.
So this is
MG versus Mercedes.
Yeah, this is to do with a perfect example
Yeah.
of car snob and affordability,
Point your finger at me.
because that is a cheap family car.
It is a cheap family car.
It's the long range trophy edition, so this is top
but
trim. What trim is that?
What would you rather have, a Mercedes-Benz or an MG? Obvious choice.
Well, exactly, but that's down to like money. That's 300 and what? 330. So basically, it's £100 cheaper. And
£100 a month for a Mercedes over an MG. It's a no-brainer. I feel like this is worth it. I mean, just the colour, the spec of this car, I think, it's decent.
can I just say though, let's pick a winner of the day. I think it's the cherry red model, Tesla Model 3.
I think if you've got the cash under 20k and you're looking for a used EV, there is so much on the market. And
Well, we've proved that. We've proved that here today. We've seen some really good options, haven't we?
I feel like with a PCP, you're going to end up paying 15k over the 4 years anyway.
Yeah.
And then your final payment is not going to be like 4 or 5k, is it? It's going to be way more. So you're going to be paying over the odds for a PCP, really.
Well, if you pay, PCP's always got a settlement term, but if you do high purchase, so if you put a deposit down,
yeah, you still pay a load of interest.
You'll pay a monthly deposit and there'll be no balloon payment.
Yeah, but I think if you've got around the 15k to spend on a used EV, you've got some really good options out there. Can we just move on to the other picks that didn't quite make the list?
Oh God,
Because
okay.
I'm just going to do a quick honourable mention to a couple of these picks because I think they're still really good deals. So the first one I've got is the BMW iX3. Okay, this one came out at £338 per month with a list price of 21k. Well, 21,990. So I think that's quite a good car for the money. The only thing with the iX3 is you don't get very good range.
This is one that I think you're going to like. A pick, cash buy, £5,000, 499 for an e-Golf.
£5,000
For an
£5.5 grand. That's
so
mad.
For an e-Golf, it's in great condition. The only thing is with the e-Golfs, they stopped making them, right? And then they started making the GT, which is a plug-in hybrid Golf. Anyway, the e-Golf didn't really have that many miles to begin with, so I think it was like 118 miles of range. So it's not going to be the best, but it's £101 per month, HP. It's a 2015, and it's done 116,000 miles. So it's a good car if you're not going too far.
If you're doing about 10 miles a day, you could get away with that. Okay, my next one was the Ioniq 5. I found a nice 2021 Ioniq 5, and it came out at £266 a month. And I think that's quite a good deal because it's nearly a 19 grand car. You know, we all know the Ioniq 5.
They're bigger than they thought. They're a lot bigger than you think.
They look like a hatchback, but actually when you get one in person, it's a lot bigger and you can fit a lot more stuff in. So that's, I think, is a really good option as well. Polestar 2, really good option.
I saw that one.
£260 a month, £18,000. I feel like that's a really good option. They've just dropped in price so much.
Do you know what? I saw that one, Adam, that Polestar.
Yeah.
And the reason why I didn't pick it is because I got that cherry red, which is cheaper and better than that Polestar 2. And that's more expensive.
Just monthly, £260 is definitely affordable. Other picks include the Q4 e-tron, which I think you love Audi anyway, but it was £360 a month.
That's a lot.
A little bit more expensive, but you get the Audi badge. And then the last one that I picked was an I-Pace.
You're on the I-Pace train.
Which was £258 a month for a PCP.
Yeah.
But it was just shy of 17k in a blue, which was okay.
We've done a bit of research today. We've proved that there are some good EVs out there.
Yeah.
What I want to know, and I'm sure what Adam wants to know, is what one do you like out of our picks? We've spoke about probably our favourite ones. Let us know in the comments what you would get. Maybe you could tell us what one you're looking at the moment, if you are looking at one.
Yeah.
And also, I think with insurance, would probably, depending on what you get, like the Jaguar ones, is going to be a higher insurance. So you've got to think about other costs.
Yeah. I feel like there's some great options out there. So you'll have to let us know in the comments. Let's start a little debate on what you're looking at, what you think of the EV market, and if you're going to purchase one in 2025, because I think a lot of people are, including this boy over here. So you have to stay tuned. This guy is also the face of Lease Loco's Instagram.
Hard to say.
It is hard to say. Lease Loco's Instagram. So you can check him out on there because you've got some great lease deals over there.
And we do every now and again. We'll do some monthly lease deals when we have time to just show you picks. A little bit like what we've done today. Good picks. What I think's good. I'm always a big fan of no deposit leasing deals because when you don't own the car, obviously you don't want to put any money down. But that's another story. We'll do another video. But let us know what you think about this episode down in the comments. Throw us a like. Get subbed, and me and Adam will see you on the next one.
If you've made it this far, thank you ever so much for watching. I've just popped up 2 more videos on your screen that you also may like. If you do watch one, let me know what you think.